Hello everybody and welcome to my latest video. Today we're going to find the Ur-700, the direct ascent equivalent to the N1. So direct ascent is a lunar landing profile that has one big craft. It just does the whole thing in one big go, and yeah, no lunar orbit rendezvous. Extremely simple, basic, but it requires a lot larger of a launch vehicle to do it. So this is basically strapping a bunch of hypergolic F1 together with boosters and cross-feed fuel capacity until it works. This is basically the equivalent to the US Nova, which also never flew. So if you're wondering where we're going, and if the title did not say that, we're going to Luna, but specifically a lunar base I made, which I'm actually pretty proud of. It's extremely simple. I like the airlock design, even though you won't really see it because it's in the shadow most of the time. But I'm also pretty proud because this lattice, never mind, I won't spoil anything for you. Viewer retention, all of that. So if you're wondering how I'm getting the boosters to work with cross-fuel capacity, action group, and just quickly, wonderful booster set. Got some little SRBs in there to make sure it's clean. And now start to segments of absolutely awful thrust to weight ratio. It works though, so I'm not sad. So basically I just had an action group set up for those engines, and just when I saw that their fuel tanks reached 0, I just turned the action group off and staged. So yeah. And we are almost done with we're done with the segments of abysmally low thrust to weight ratio. We actually get in places. And there's a lot of fuel in the stage. This might take longer than I hoped. And flame out, separation, ignition, and fairing deploy and tower separation. And if you're wondering why I've got the tanks a bit weird, it's just the way I could connect the fairing, so it just didn't leave a big gap and look awkward. And also I've disabled the gimbal on those just to because it was just causing the whole craft to spin out of control. So I've just got some RCS nozzles with extreme stuff, with some extreme power added to them, so it works. Still a little bit, or still not good, but it works. And now we're in orbit. Time to stage away. And this is the payload that the Ur-700 is bringing to low Earth orbit. A big boy. Basically 2 strap-on boosters. Oh, and now we got maneuver node. I couldn't get a lunar encounter without saying hello to Brigo en route, so I guess that happened, so yeah. And time for translunar injection. Okay, so how are your guys' day going? Or girls, or non-binary pals? So, how are your guys' day going? I say, time for plugs, join my Discord. So, we're almost there. Brigo actually kind of like gave us a little assist kick thing, just to make sure we got there with a little bit extra fuel. And we're staging those boosters away. I just realized that I should stage those away before we do our lunar orbit insertion with the remainder of the fuel. Oh yeah, those boosters cross-feed fuel into the core tank. Oh yeah, and we have Brigo. Hello Brigo. Bye Brigo. Okay, now we are going to Luna. And then I was like, oh, where should I land? Well, I guess I landed this lunar base near the South Pole, so yeah, I decided I should land there. Then I realized, wait a second, I'm on a completely wrong orbital plane. And aren't inclination change burns much more efficient when it's in an elliptical orbit? So, yeah, a very large inclination change. Very large. Very large. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say in this. It's very basic craft. The biggest issue was getting the cross-feed fuel stuff to work with. That wasn't really an issue. So now we're having a bit of a deorbit burn now. Not going to burn out all the fuel in that core stage, just making multiple quick saves. I had to quickly go and it was during my break at school that I had to do that, so just making a quick save and then doing that, and now we're back. And now we are on the final descent and landing part, so yeah. And we are almost there. And if you notice multiple camera cuts, it's a precision landing at a very, very, very polar region. It was very difficult. And so this is my first precision landing on Luna, so yeah. I'm actually surprised that it only took me like 3 or 4 tries to get it right. I have no idea what I'm supposed to say, so I'm just going to leave you all in awkward silence. And we're here. I originally landed about 400 meters away from the base. Then I realized after 10 minutes of walking the astronauts over that I really should try to get a better landing position. Sorry for the mispronunciation there. So then I decided to do a little bit of quick save, quick load magic, and now here we are in our final approach. We got a bit too much horizontal velocity there. Is that going to be an issue? Well, no, if you lock retrograde, it doesn't. But then again, if you lock retrograde for too long, then it has the habit of doing 360-degree flips. And since we're 62 meters above the surface, that's not exactly the best thing that could happen. And we are slowly coming down. Another quick save there, and there was a very subtle crossfade there because I just took a couple quick screenshots using the in-game photo function and did a couple quick saves because I do not want to mess up this final approach. You have no idea how long it took me to get this precision stuff. And touchdown. Bit of a slow, but who cares? And now, run. So I believe this is Karen Padrilla, I think, that has then Liam Schaefer. I'm probably mispronouncing these names horribly incorrectly. And these are our brave astronauts. I just got Leslie Green. This is like an OG person, like the only one whose name I remember. So I just took the default names of the astronauts, and after a long fruitful stay, we gotta take them back. So yeah. I don't know. I don't really get how you can board crew compartments from so far away, but I'm not complaining because this game does not have ladders. And last person out, Leslie, of course, like the Jebediah of KSP, or more like Valentina. And we're there, and take off. Bye bye. Notice a very subtle crossfade as I took a couple quick screenies. And actually, even though I tested this design multiple times, it turns out that it can't, while it can still get into lunar orbit, it can't return back to Earth from a polar lunar orbit. Too many inclination changes and stuff like that. It's a bit annoying. I probably could have figured out a way, but I just didn't really have the patience, so I just quickly launched from the lunar base that you can see at default lunar base launch site. And here we go. That's why it's a full fuel tank again. It's really annoying, but it is capable of returning from the moon, or Luna, should I say. It is capable if it's an equatorial region or whatever, or just the region that you're happy with. And now re-entry. I'm just gonna go for a bit of a I keep on forgetting the term. It's like there's a ballistic re-entry which basically faces straight retrograde. Lots of G-forces slows you down quickly, and then it's a bit more like a glide and re-entry. Takes lift from the heat shield and just keeps you in the upper atmosphere for longer. Less G-forces, generally a nicer ride on the way down. But I completely forgot the term. And now we're going back. And what are we doing? Oh, we're just deploying that little shield that protects the parachutes from re-entry. Not really necessary, but I just thought it'd be a nice little touch. And we're getting pretty close. We're getting a little bit close to the surface. Getting a little bit close. And 200 or so meters above the surface, we pop the chutes. And a nice safe, probably spine crush in 18 meters per second. We splash down and do a couple bounces because it was a spine crush in 18 meters per second. Then a quick crossfade because I did a couple screenies, quick like stuff like that. I'm not really sure what on earth I was doing. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to, I guess. And see you all next time. Starting to get really fun of this like Matt Lounge style zoom out to see the planet at the end of the video. Later everybody, bye.